Alright, I just played with my Pauper Energy deck against a deck that tried to mill me out of cards, and unfortunately for it, my deck was a little faster than that. So, I draw this as my first hand, and doesn't look too bad, so I go ahead and keep it. Play that forest right away, get the young wolf out there. And then I'm going to go ahead and, instead of playing the Thrumming Bird right now, I kind of want to wait, since I've got Vines of Vastwood available in my hand, I kind of want to protect it. I probably should have played Thornwood Falls here because I leave the island untapped anyway, so it didn't really do me any good to play a untapped land. I should have just played the tapped land and then attuned with Ether. But anyway, I go ahead and attune with Ether, grab another forest, and I'll be able to play that next turn, so I can play my Thrumming Bird and protect my Thrumming Bird. Because the Thrumming Bird's kind of the key to the strategy. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to put counters on yet, because he doesn't have any way to kill off my young wolf. And so here we go. Target opponent puts 7 cards in their library. So I'm on a fairly quick clock, because at 7 cards a turn, if he's got a bunch of those, a bunch of lose 2, he could run me out of cards in like 7 turns. So I definitely need something quicker. 7 or 8 turns. I need something quicker than my young wolf to do damage. Anyway, go ahead and play the forest here. I got another Thrumming Bird, so now I got 2 ways to make counters, but nothing to put counters on yet. But we attack with our young wolf again. He drops another land and then hits us with another Mind Sculpt for 7 more cards. Alright, here's what I was looking for. The Scrounging Bandar, the new hero of the deck. The fact that this is the first time I get to actually use it to move counters. So I'm going to play it before attack so I get to proliferate onto it. I'm going to go ahead and play my tapped land now. Go ahead and play that Scrounging Bandar. Leave Vines of Vastwood open to protect Thrumming Bird. So I know I'm going to get at least 1 counter here for my little Scrounging Bandar. And I get another energy as well. So we proliferated, and now we're off to the races, because I got 2 Thrumming Birds. So I've also got Proliferate, and I can kick something with Vines of Vastwood to do 4 more damage if I need to. So the key thing I want to do is get my Thrumming Bird to the point where it's hard to kill. And always keep one forest open for Vines of Vastwood to protect the Thrumming Bird, because he's the real key to this. Although I've got 2 creatures I want to protect right now, which makes it hard. So I put the top 2 cards in my library, and he gets to draw 2 cards, which is a little worrying. But he doesn't have anything to play. So there's my triggered abilities. I move 2 counters from the Scrounging Bandar onto the Thrumming Bird. Next turn I would go ahead and target the young wolf, even though it's got Undying, to give it a counter so that I'm proliferating onto it as well. So now I've got a 3/3 Thrumming Bird. You can go ahead and play a forest. That's not a bad draw for me. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do steady progress right now instead of playing the Thrumming Bird, because I want to get right away. I want to start doing some damage. So now I've got a 4/4 and a 2/2. I'm basically making more counters that I can then proliferate again. And with that attack, so I'm doing 7 damage. I've proliferated, so now I'm at 5/3/3, and then at the beginning of next turn, and then I go ahead and play a Thrumming Bird at the end of my turn. This was a little bit risky, but I tapped out to play that Thrumming Bird on the hopes that since he's running a mill deck, he probably doesn't have a lot of room for removal, and if he does remove something, he could probably only afford to remove 1 creature. So I don't really know. I guess he would probably remove the Bandar, but the Bandar's not that great. If you remove this Thrumming Bird, I've got another one that I would just move counters onto. So I figured I would go ahead and get the Thrumming Bird out there, get it ready to attack too, and really get in there. And then it was probably a little more aggressive than I needed to. The conservative play would have been to leave Vines of Vastwood available so that I could save either of these 2. But I decided to get in for the attack, and that ended the game. He went ahead and quit at that point. So I had lethal damage on him on board anyway with 9. So I didn't, and that's why I'm saying it probably would have been better for me to just be conservative rather than playing that. I didn't need to play it. I already have lethal damage on board. He doesn't have anything to block. All I had to do was play Vines of Astwood, and I would protect anything, and then furthermore, leaving Vines of Astwood in my hand, even if he did play something that could block, I could use Vines of Astwood to pump my flying creature and get it through for 9 damage by itself. So there was really no good reason to play the Throwing Bird, but it did get him to concede. So anyway, that was just a quick video to show how the Scrounging Bandar and Thrumming Bird work together to put counters on each other, move counters around to my whole battlefield, make more counters, etc. I think this is a really, really cool combination that's going to make this deck work even better than it did before, and it wasn't a bad deck before. I mean, it was about 50% wins. I would lose to all the top tier decks that are, really great, but I would beat a lot of the other random stuff that you come up against, and I would sometimes beat some of the top tier decks, the ones that are slower, especially Tron for whatever reason. This does very well against that, and Affinity as well. It just gets up and going with some of the stompy elements and does enough damage fast enough that it gets in before Tron can really get rolling. And same thing with Affinity. I've beaten some Affinity decks that were like one turn away from ATOGing me with all their sacrifices, but I was able to beat them right before that. But yeah, the proliferate stuff with the counters really can get out of hand, so I'm enjoying this deck a lot.